So CTR, we're gonna start. Time starts when the cart starts moving. So
welcome to the adventure.
So there's a little bit of button mashing in CTR. Okay, cool, Cyanide. I just wanted to make sure. I couldn't see the chat for some reason. So yeah, CTR has a little bit of button mashing, just to kind of skip between certain cutscenes and things like that. A big mechanic of CTR is this drift mechanic. So you guys will see me basically from the start of the game to the very end, I'm going to be playing mostly drifting sideways. So what it does is when you're drifting, you actually build that little boost meter in the far bottom right. And what you want to do is you want to drift when it's almost full. Another thing what I just did there too, there's a lot of tech that's going to be going on. When you drift over one of those green boost pads, it actually, there's an anomaly in the game where if you drift over that green boost pad and then continue to drift and never let it stop, it'll never go away. So that speed that you get off the green boost pad never goes away. They call that sacred fire in the terminology. So that big, huge flame behind the cart, that's what they call sacred fire. There's actually a couple other techs we'll go through as they pop up too. That's first map. Initial D, the video game, pretty much, Retro. So that was first map, really quick. One thing too is I am playing on the NTSC version, the North American version, which is slightly slower. Not by a lot, but what happens on the PAL version is there's what they call the language glitch. The PAL version has all the languages built into one. When's Garfield cart? I don't know. I'm excited for it though if it comes out. But in the PAL version, there's a glitch called the language glitch. And what it does is, at the main menu, when it asks you to select your language, you just exit out and re-enter back in. And the game will select no language. So when it does that, a big glitch happens in the game. And none of the enemies talk. And also, you get a little bit less of a cutscene in between, like the Oompa Loompa talking. So it speeds up a little bit. You save a couple minutes, if I remember right, all said and done. So we're a little bit slower because of that. The other thing that's strange with CTR, it's common on some PS1 games, but it's actually played on a PS2. The reason why is the PS2 has slightly faster load times than the PS1 when you run it on fast read, and so you actually trim off a little bit of time as well. Another thing I'm going to be doing here too is going down a hill like this, you gain a crazy amount of speed, and you can bunny hop to keep that speed for a little bit longer. They call that froggying. Okay, second map done. So with CTR, just like some of the other games, is super lore rich. So nitrous oxide, the alien from the planet Gas Moxia, is challenging Earthlings to a race for the planet. He wants to turn the planet into a giant concrete parking lot. So it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, the new CTR game just came out too, so a lot of people are probably familiar with it if they've played any of the old CTR or the new one. It's pretty fun though. The old one has some glitch skips and stuff like that too that we're going to be doing. But a lot of it is just go really fast. Oh, I missed the boost. No big deal. Okay. So another thing about CTR2 is it works on a reserve system. So the more that I fully charge that drift gauge and boost off of it, it actually builds up reserves that last longer, and those reserves get spent on certain things. What it does is, the longer I'm not boosting or not drifting, those reserves start to get used up. You can't see the reserve gauge, but there is a invisible reserve gauge that does get used up. So you can just stop drifting for a little bit and it won't, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. So that was a little bad, but not a big deal, just slows us down a little bit. We're gonna try and get over here and get the other green boost. We're gonna get a bit more speed again. There's a little bit of RNG in CTR as well. That'll pop up in a bit. There's only a couple maps that it really matters heavily. And also, sorry if I'm not watching chat all the time, just because of the boost meter and stuff, I gotta pay attention to that a lot of it. Let's do this shortcut, nice. That was good. Not perfect, but it was good. So another thing too is if I'm boosting, as you've noticed, I bonked into a wall while you're drifting. If that happens, you lose all your speed. So all your reserves just go to 0. So don't want that to happen. It's not usually a massive deal breaker in the main run, but it does slow things down a little bit. You can gain speed again pretty quickly. So that was a little bit slower. That's a type of world. That's the first type of world domination. Gotta turn it into a parking lot. If you ain't out of control, you ain't in control. Well, sometimes.
You win a trophy.
We're doing not too bad actually for time right now.
You can get a
Be quiet,
hang
Oompa
time.
Oompa. So we got one more map before the first boss. I guess another tech I should mention too is, there's a few things. Like I said, going downhill and then keeping that speed, they call that ghosting. There's also another tech called cresting, is where you jump going uphill and you kind of gain a crazy amount of height. And it gives you a really big boost when you land. Okay, that was a really good skip there. That jump's a little bit sketchy. You got to be pretty hard on it. So these are the first little bit of RNG, is those poles that roll across. Those actually, they're on a global timer, so sometimes they just get in the way of your lines and you have to readjust. That was nice. Like that. I just about got screwed by that. Another thing I'm going to try and do here. Oh! I can't do it now because I don't know how to speed. So those things, like I said, are on a global timer. Sometimes they do just get in the way of your lines, but it's not a really big deal. Just made me lose my big boost. So after this map, we'll be going to the first ball. If I can get this shortcut the third time, great. Nice. That's good. Holy, my RNG is really bad on this right now. So I'm gonna try and do a little trick where it gets me a lot of speed. You go across the half pipe there, and it kind of pushes you off, and you gain a really crazy amount of speed just for the end of that tunnel. It doesn't matter a lot, but it saves, like, it gives you another second or so. So this is the first boss, Ripperoo. This one's pretty easy. He's not that fast. And it redoes one of the maps is what happens. So every boss fight is just another one of the maps that you played earlier. Bad boost. So I don't want to get hit by any of his stuff. Just get ahead of them. Once you're ahead of them, you're basically golden. Once you're ahead of the bosses, it's pretty hard for them to catch you. Another thing too on CTR, the different characters are actually specific. So there's balance characters, there's acceleration characters, and there's fast characters. The speedrun can be done with any. It does not matter. It's your own personal preference. So for me, I'm using Coco, who is the good or the hero character for the acceleration type. And it's kind of the classic CTR speedrun character, but some people use the fast ones, which have less turning, less acceleration, and some use the balanced ones like Crash. It's just all a personal preference thing. So here I'm gonna froggy as long as I can because I got a lot of speed. Okay, first boss done. Oh, this guy looks completely sane and healthy. Oh yeah, he is. He's totally right in the head. He's not even holding his steering wheel. He's all wrapped up. So first key, first world done. There's 4 worlds. We're right on time right now. We had a couple slowdowns, but not bad.
Congratulations on opening.
So CTR also is a hub world. It's a large hub world. It was actually one of the first like kart racers to do this. I think it actually might have been first. So pretty weird for its time, but it has a big hub world that you kind of have to travel a little bit through. There's not a lot of stuff going through it. Usually a lot of the worlds are like side by side speedrun, but there is a little bit of travel that you gotta do between them. So we're into the second world, first map. Also, if there's any announcements or anything, you're more than welcome to do them. I do have Discord open too, so if I hear you pop in, I'll kind of know that's what you do as well. So this map does have some RNG. I have to get a certain item. I have to get a throwable item. So I did get a throwable item, which is great. Just throw it at this door, it opens it. So I gotta get one of these items. So I did, this is actually a throwable item. A lot of people use it to throw behind, but you can throw it in front. So we're gonna use it. If I can get 3, that'd be sweet. Sometimes you just get screwed on this, but... So my RNG was really good on this one. Ooh, that was just a little early drift. I shouldn't have done. It's alright. Not too bad. It was a little bad hitting the fire there. Wait, he didn't even hold the steering wheel? No, Ripperoo doesn't hold the steering wheel. Doesn't need to. Just controls it with his mind.
You win a trophy.
So next map is pretty simple. There's nothing
You
really
can go
fancy,
faster.
no super skips or nothing. It's just go really fast. It's actually a really fun map though. Another one. So we're moving through pretty good. So this one, I'm not going to take the first cresting area. I'm going to try and get to this boost pad so I can get the Sacred Flame. And get going really fast. Get lots of reserves built up. So this one does have kind of a little skip, I guess you could say. That's it. You kind of just hop over that little fence and you got a lot of speed. So what I did there is I froggied up to the hill, and then when you jump, that was cresting. So what I did was I was hopping up the hill, and then your character kind of bounces off the crest of the hill, and you keep your speed through the air. But if I would have been just driving on it, I wouldn't have kept my speed. Oh, that wasn't so good. Alright though. Because the longer you're on the grass, you start to lose speed and you start to drain your reserves. That was good. Next one. So this map is one of the first ones that actually has an unintended skip.
Congratulations. You win
I'll explain
a
it when it
trophy.
gets to it.
To
And this
get
is
a
also
turbo
the
boost,
boss map in the game. So Papu's Pyramid. This is the first one where there's an unintended skip. Big skip time. It does skip like a good chunk of the map. It saves a lot of time. So the reason I mashed the accelerator on the start as well is because it gives you a little bit more boost. It's not like crazy amount, but so the skip's gonna come up here right away. I gotta get lots of speed. Oh, I missed it the first time. So there's a secondary one, so I'm gonna do the secondary one that just it's not as good. And no, I'm not. Oh, I'm choking up. It's alright. So we'll get it the second time. What you do is you're actually gonna ride along the edge of the map for a little bit, and the map tries to push you off, but instead you ride it and you just jump right back to the starting one. This time we got a lot more speed because I kept that boost. Okay, we're going across there. Big skip, there we go. That was the first glitch skip. So that little like ledge that I was kind of on, it actually tries to push you off both ways, so it's kind of annoying. And it often will kick you off the map. If we can get it another time, that'd be sweet. There we go. Oh, see, it bumped me off that time. That's the secondary one. That's like if things go a little bit south, we take that. So not too bad. What a rude ledge. I know, that ledge, get out of here. It just kicks me right off. It's kind of tough because if you're not perfectly on the line, it does kick you off. You have to be dead center, otherwise it just bumps you off. And it's weird too, because the game, that ledge you actually can't normally make the jump, but because CTR, it has a slight delay in not only the jump mechanic, but it doesn't know when you're off the ledge for a couple, like a split second. So there's actually like a couple frames where when you jump off, or when you like are off the bridge, your cart is still able to jump. So I wait till like the very last second, and the cart will jump mid-air. It'll actually be off the bridge, and that's how you make the jump. This map's pretty straightforward, nothing super fancy. Just a couple of those tumbleweeds can kind of be annoying because they're RNG based. You kind of just gotta watch them. They're the same as those like rolling pillars in the sewer. They're on like a global timer and they're kind of annoying. I lost a little bit of speed there. Got hit by the tumbleweed. Tumbleweed for the win. Got our speed back. And the other thing too is the fruit, like I am kind of gathering the fruit, it actually has no bearing on anything. It increases your base speed. Wow, those tumbleweeds are screaming. But the fruit increases your base speed and gives you better items, but we're never hardly ever using our base speed, so it generally doesn't matter to gather them. Legendary. Tumbleweed Pepe hands. I know, those tumbleweeds are annoying. And they're hard to see, actually. They're kind of tough to see on the screen. Especially when you're drifting sideways, you're trying to pay attention to the boost. They always catch me off guard. So normally in the PAL version, if you do the language glitch, all the bosses' heads, for whatever reason, switch as well. I don't know why. No one really knows. It's something weird in the code, but their heads all swap. So this boss, I really do not want to get behind. He is really, really annoying. So that was good that I hit him. I kind of took a little bit of a loss on time just to make sure that he got hit by that bubble shield. Because if he gets ahead of me, it's pretty bad. He's a lot faster than the first boss as well. Oh, bridge skip, nice. That was really good. A little slow on the landing, but that's okay. Another thing too is this area here is actually really difficult to drift around. It has to be super perfect. Because you're supposed to take that quite a bit slower, but you want to keep drifting to keep your speed. Oh, that was a little sketchy. It bounced me off early because you can't really stay on that long. Like it wants to kick you off real bad. Oh, I shouldn't have hopped over that. Watch out for the plants. They like to eat the cart. Oh, so I was too early there. I did a normal jump and I needed to do a late jump. So I'm going to do the second one. That was a really good late jump skip. That's alright. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Beat the boss by calling the police on him, littering since he's throwing stuff. Yeah, he's just throwing potions and shit. Just get out of here.
Papu not himself today. Maybe Papu not eating a big breakfast. You are fast for being so small. Here is key to
Lappy's
help.
on the way to arrest.
Oxide
Perfect.
much bigger problem for you. Him not
Sorry
as
I'm a little
big,
slow with the
but
chat
yet
too, guys. It is tough to
zombie.
keep up. So next world, we're on third. Third has a few maps that are a little bit longer. Like so far the maps have been kind of medium length. Third has one map that's really long and there's no skips, which really slow things down a bit. It's like a 4-minute map. But there's a couple early ones here that are fine and have a few skips. A lot of CTR though, it's pretty pure speedrun. There's not a whole lot of craziness to it. It's just go really, really fast. Get going, let's get ahead of everyone. This one has a couple RNG mechanics just with the boulder. Another thing too is I'm jumping early on the hills. The reason why I'm jumping early on those little tiny hills is because if you jump early, you lose less speed. Because you don't lose speed while you're jumping, but you lose speed if you're going uphill. If you hit a wall, if you obviously hit an item or anything like that. But if you jump a little bit early going up those little tiny ridges, you don't lose any speed. So that's a little skip too. It's nothing major. It's just a really late jump skip. You can kind of just like, if you have enough speed. No boulder. Perfect. All 3 times. That's really nice. Just ride her out. See kids eating breakfast important. You race faster if you do. Thanks, CTR. Teaching the kids the importance.
Congratulations.
Why does everyone winter snow level have a... Yeah, there's always a winter snow level in these card games. Okay, here's one thing that happens. At one point in the game, you have to talk to one of the boss doors. It's either here or it's at the last world. There's no way around it. You have to talk to one of the boss doors, and your guy just says, oh, this is the boss door, and you can't go in it yet. Why does every winter snow level have a boulder? They do, man. It's just how it is. So this one has another skip that's not really intended. It's awkward, and it's very RNG based. I'm gonna try and do it as many times as I can. It's all based on timing of, there's a mine cart that rotates around. Okay, we're gonna do cart skip. So you crawl up here. I don't have a ton of speed right now, but you hop back on and it skips a good portion and a really annoying little roundabout part. So that was the first instance that happened, where an enemy locked onto me with a rocket. Thankfully I had an item to stop it, because that would have sucked. So that's why you keep, in first place, you kind of keep a couple of the items if you can. Please be good. No, not good RNG that time. And what I did there was something that they call U-turn or super turn, because that turn is too sharp to take normally. You just bump into the wall and lose all your speed. So U-turning or super turning, you let go of the gas pedal, press the brake, and press down the direction that you want to go, and then you froggy. So you do the froggy bunny hop technique. I'm getting bad RNG for the cart. So that's okay. Well, I did the U-turn bad. Okay, we're still good. It's not bad. We take the mini skips. They appreciate it. I like the CTR does have a lot of little mini skips.
You win a trophy.
Not a lot of glitch skips, but lots of mini ones. So we got one more snow level, and then we got the really long level, which I'm gonna freaking love. This one has a little mini skip as well. It saves a little bit of time. There's actually a massive skip on this one too, but if you screw it up, it's a run ender. So I'm not gonna do it because it's really, really difficult. Basically, you hop right here and you hop off the map, and you hop kind of over to this bridge. It's a really big hop, and it requires you to be like perfect timing. So it's tough. If you miss it, you basically lose this map. Penguins, no, or seals. So I missed the skip, but it's not a big deal. Basically, you just if you miss those seals, you can crest off the top of that hill, and you jump over the little tiny ledge that's blocking the way. It doesn't save a lot of time, but it is important. Oh, that was horrible. I'm doing bad on those cresting jumps here. Nice thing about CTR though is if you do miss a skip or anything, generally it's not like run it. Whereas I know some games it's like done, you just can't do it. CTR is pretty classic speedrunning, so there's a lot of spots that you can just continue on. You're so far ahead a lot of the time, it's not like breaking. You just add a couple seconds. Alright, we're getting it the third time here. In practice, I like never miss it. There we go. It's a really late jump too. You kind of gotta like crest that hill perfectly. Alright. Why is there a TV in an ice cavern? Because that's your save station. So the TVs are the big save points.
Congratulations. You win a trophy.
But yeah, they're just hanging out there. In the ice cavern and castle, it doesn't matter. It's the lawless days of PS1 games, man. And exactly, why not? Freak says, why not? Just slap a big ass TV in an ice cavern. Who cares? Netflix and chill. Except actually chill. So this map, kind of boring. Just really big and just go fast. Lots of curves, just how I like the ladies. But yeah, this map is super bendy, and lots of bumps, lots of jumps, lots of walls to hit. So you'll notice that often I take the turns pretty wide, just to make sure that I can drift around them.
Take that.
Oh no! No! Oh, my thing did hit it, thank God. Hopefully I can keep this full boost the whole time. Be sweet. This one involves a lot of little short boosts too. Just because the map's so awkwardly shaped, I can't always charge them up full. I'm kind of just charging up the boost as much as I can. Because when you boost, you actually get it pushes you forward slightly. So, like right there, I kind of screwed that up. It pushes you forward slightly. So if you're taking a corner, you can use that to your advantage, or sometimes it actually works bad. Sometimes you don't want to take the corner as sharp, you don't want to get propelled forward. Another thing too that's weird on CTR is you're not supposed to be able to drift in midair, but you can do it kind of by double tapping the drift button. And they call it air boosting. It's used only sometimes, like on certain maps when you're kind of cresting over, you can flick into a boost and it's pretty handy. I lost my reserves, unfortunately. We're coming up to another boost pad here. Did Mario Kart do Walrus Stadium first? I'm not sure. Wario Stadium? I don't know which one was first. It's legit just Wario Stadium. It really is.
So, you've beaten all the other racers.
Crisis averted.
Well, now you'll see.
But yeah, it's literally just Wario Stadium. So this is the third boss. He is there's actually 4 main bosses and then the last boss. Moving along pretty good. Had a couple slowdowns. We're gonna probably be just over 60 minutes with a couple slowdowns, but this guy I really do not want to let get ahead of me either. He's really, really bad to let get ahead. He throws all sorts of items. Oh no, cart skip please. Yep. Nope, that was bad. I can probably still make it. Oh, that was brutal. So that was like worst case scenario. So what happened there is I didn't touch the ground. So if you don't touch the ground on the little bridge, it doesn't let you get the skip if you fall off. If you touch, you're okay. But what happened there to me is I did not touch. I got a rocket. I'm just gonna use it on and get that. Oh man, minecart skip is screwing me right now. It's probably gonna hit me again. And no touch, please. Okay, we're okay. We're gonna make it. I might not take minecart skip the third time because it seems like it's kind of running into me when I'm coming around the corner. I really don't want to redo this boss fight. Getting right in my face. That card is just wrecking me today. My RNG on this run is really bad. Or at least, yeah, the minecart has just come to take my speed. Every single time it was there. I was just a hair bit too fast. And then the cart just plummeted right into me. Ideally, you want to be right behind the cart. Or if you have like one of those boost jugs, you can, like the nitrous jug, you can go behind the cart and use it and it just boosts you up.
We're going to lose
That's
our planet, and it will all be your fault.
So, last world, moving along. Last world again too is a longer one. There's a couple maps that are long. It's one of the first introductions too to Ultimate Sacred Fire, so I'll explain that when we get to it. It'll be on one of the first maps. So the Sacred Fire is when you're drifting on. I like how he sounds like an Argonian. Yeah, he does. Komodo Joe. So Ultimate Sacred Fire is I want to build up as much reserve as I can right now, getting this Sacred Fire. And then, okay, so here's the Ultimate Sacred Fire boost pad. So what I do is I take this and I just ride it. And he goes crazy fast. It's the fastest form of boosting in the game. There's only a couple places with it, and you just want to ride it out as long as possible. So this is another unintended piece. I'm going to try and hit the Ultimate Sacred Flame boost pad again. Oh, I missed it. So you can hop there really late and get on that boost pad a second time, and it'll give you another Ultimate Flame boost. And it boosts you basically right over here. It's crazy. Fast. So what those do is they suck up all your reserves and just drain it all at once, and it just makes you go crazy fast. This one we're going quite a bit faster, so it should be easier to make this hop. So that boosted me like all the way over here with that Ultimate Sacred Fire boost pad. You don't want to hop, you don't want to drift. If you do anything after you hit those, it'll stop. It'll stop doing what it's doing and get the speed of whatever you do. You want to just ride it out. You can froggy, that being said. So froggy is when you hold the one trigger again and bunny hop. I don't know if we're gonna have enough speed. Perfect. That wasn't as much reserves to use up there, but it's still good. It's still way faster. Lovely, how lovely of a game mechanic design. Yeah, there's some weird stuff in CTR.
Congratulations, you win a trophy.
CTR does have quite a bit of mechanics actually that are like, they're just kind of janky things on how the game was designed that they didn't really think of, and you can kind of just abuse them. Okay, good boost. This map's got lots of really sharp corners, so unfortunately you lose a lot of speed going through a lot of it. There's one skip on this, it's just a little mini shortcut. there, you just pop to that corner. There's a ultimate sacred flame boost pad. We didn't have enough reserve for it. This map is actually probably one of my most hated maps. I really dislike this one. I just hate the really sharp corners. It makes it really difficult to drift properly. So you kind of just have to e-brake in the air, because that's another thing too, is you don't lose your speed if you e-brake in the air. So a lot of times, like on this corner here, I'm going to e-brake and then let go of the e-brake before I land, and you just keep the speed you had. So you can kind of abuse certain mechanics like that to make it a little more bearable, but... Oh. Got some speed now. The last world probably, it does have the hardest for sure. Just because a lot of them have really janky corners and things. Ooh, that was kind of bad. So we won't be able to take that, that's okay. Janky corner, so I guess you could say the final world is edgy. Ooh. Yeah, kind of. It is edgy in that sense, for sure.
Congratulations, you win a trophy.
Alright, so next map is one of the most difficult. I'll leave now. Got the dad joke in and he's ready to rock. He's ready to leave. So this one's probably one of the hardest. The map itself is long. And it has an unintended skip that can be kind of difficult to cut off properly. It actually has two unintended skips, but this one, the first one leads you right to the next, but the biggest issue is if you take it wrong, it's a run under again. So here's the skip. I'm gonna stop and hopefully don't fall off. There. Let these guys go.
Wrong way.
Hit there. Falling off's fine, and it brings you way over to this other side. So just because I jumped over that fence, you're not supposed to be able to jump over that fence. As long as I touch the ground there, it'll bring me to the other side of the map, which skips like half of this course. It's kind of a janky skip, but it works pretty good. If you're really, I haven't played CTR in a long time actually. I kind of re-pulled it up just for this. But when you're well practiced, and I've done it a lot, you can actually not fall off. And that will actually gain you a lot of time. You save falling off and getting pulled back. Oh my gosh, I fell off, but that's okay. We're gonna just run here. So what happens if I miss it like this? Just because I can go into the corner there, and it'll still work. If you hit the fence where I landed there, and then you just drive into the corner at like a 45, it'll skip it as well. Again, just a janky thing on the map design. The reason I'm drifting after that sacred boost pad too is because it gives me just ludicrous speed. Oh, missed it. No big deal. Sky world with unintended skips. It is. That's exactly what it is. There. Yeah, Sky Air Speedway. So this map is actually the boss map as well. So you have to do that map twice. So both of these, that map and the next one, are both boss maps.
Congratulations, you win a trophy.
We're pretty close to par here. We're going to be a little over 60. Just because of a couple mix-ups. But not bad. So this is the last map. Oxide Station. This one has a big unintended skip. It actually has two big unintended skips. Again, one of them is a run-ender. I'll explain it. I'm not going to do the first one. Right here, you actually run into that wall right underneath that big cylinder. And what happens is your cart will go up onto the ledge. You carefully drive backwards along the ledge and fall down, and you'll fall below onto part of the map. You ride the map backwards. And then from there, you have to do it a second time. Oh, the skip's coming up. I'm just going to be quiet for a second. And I missed it. But what happens is you run backwards and then you do it a second time, and it brings you all the way to the second skip. So normally I should have landed right down here. We got a lot more speed this time. We should be good. So there we go, we did it. That one you just do a really late jump off that little tiny ramp, and you can kind of ride it all the way to the bottom ledge there. It skips a good portion of the map. But if you jump early like I did the first time, you just bonk into the wall. So as you guys are kind of probably figuring out, CTR has a lot of, like, because of that late jumping mechanic in the game, you can kind of get into some weird scenarios. Climb that wall just a little bit. Just touched it. Good. That was way better than the first. So that's Oxide Station. I'm surprised we haven't just jumped through a wall right after a ramp to finish the course. This game brings back good memories, man. I'm glad. It's a really fun game. I really enjoy speedrunning it.
If you's gonna face Oxide, you's gonna have to get past me.
It brings back good memories for me too. I was really happy they did a remake. The remake unfortunately has all the skips fixed. It's just straight racing. So we're going back to Hot Air Skyway with the unintended skip. You've gotta beat me. You've gotta beat me first. Okay, this guy is a real cuck if he gets ahead of me.
Yeah, right.
He throws a bunch of grenades backwards, those rolling bomb grenades. And it's really hard to dodge them all. Oh god. It doesn't really matter too much here as long as I don't get hit by too many of them. Because I'm just going to skip past anyways. Not the best, but we're just going to ride down and he's going to pick us up.
Say good night.
We have $5 from Anonymous. Now they say is new. Thank you,
Say
Anonymous.
good night.
Hey, thanks for the $5 donation.
Say good night.
Alright. Hopefully we can get one decent.
Have some of this.
So when I landed and into a drift there, I was just trying to gain some extra speed on the boost that makes
Have
it
some
think
of
you're
this.
drifting in the ultimate sacred flame boost.
Long way.
Touch, good. That was better. If you hop over, it is faster. The fastest is if you can land and just keep going without falling off, but it can be kind of difficult. That was a good U-turn.
Have some of this. Watch your back. You're mine.
That big speed. Okay. Last skip.
Long way.
Touch, good. Alright, so now we just gotta face nitrous oxide. We're on home stretch, last boss. Pretty decent U-turn, not the fastest, but okay. So we're gonna be just over. Oxide Station is like a minute and a bit, I think. Or 2 minutes and a bit, or close to 3 maybe. But we have to go through the voice.
So, you's beat me fair and square.
I'd be careful about skipping sections. That guy has a gun. He just sees me cheating, jumping over the fence, and shoots me.
The little terror vermin has finally collected all the trophies to become world champion. What took you so long?
We're 665 away from our goal. So close. Man, we are doing really good. It's so great to see everybody donating and stuff too. So awesome. Such an awesome event that Cyanide has put on. So Oxide is like King Cup. He is super annoying. If I can get ahead of him, it'll be sweet, but what ends up usually happening is oh, come on. Okay, good. So maybe I can get ahead of him because he just throws items like they're candy. I really do have to do this skip. If I didn't get that skip, you have to basically just race Oxide like normal. Now the map becomes easy. Now I just drive it. But Oxide is really, really fast, especially against Coco, because Coco is the slowest character, but her acceleration is really good. So against Oxide, it can be a difficult race. If I get stuck behind him, or like neck and neck with him, it's not fun. it can, again, that's one thing that can just end a run if you do screw up that first skip. The Oxide is fast AF. Good skip. One more skip, and time ends on crossing the finish line. So we're pretty close to the line. Maybe a little, like I said, a little bit over. There's a couple mix-ups that happen, but overall not. And Oxide's so damn far behind. Not turning Earth into a parking lot today. Ooh! Oh, land! That was the sketchiest skip I've ever done. I can't even believe that that still worked. That was like panic, just try and touch anything. Because you're mid-air and trying to correct yourself. Oh god, that could have been really bad. Okay, that is time, guys. 101.57. That save was crazy. That was scary. But that's time. That's game. A little bit over. We had a couple mix-ups. So we're over the hour time that we wanted to. But, you know, thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks, Cyanide, for putting this awesome event on. Can't wait to see the rest of the runners tomorrow. And I really look forward to watching the next run here. So you guys are in for a big treat. The next one is RJ, and he's doing Earthbound on the NES, or the SNES, sorry. Truly unreal run. It's a long one. It's a marathon of a run, but it's going to be absolutely wild. So we'll wait till RJ gets in the chat here, and then we'll switch things up and let you guys enjoy that. So. Oh, looks like I got you in the chat, RJ. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll end her off. I'll give you a couple seconds here. What was that, sorry?
Whenever you're ready, I'm good to go.
All right, man. I'm ending out.